Live from the Crazy Cap studio, this is Fairy Fountain News. I am your host, Noah, aka Young Pug, and we have a few stories to talk about in today's news, being from the latest game directs and showcases that were announced a few weeks ago, and how I feel about the games that were announced and the updates that were shown off. So let's get into it. Hey! Are you a gamer who is always tired and is of need of caffeine to start the day? Are you a person who is always tired of drinking those unhealthy energy drinks such as Monster, Red Bull, Rockstar? Which that last one kind of sounds familiar if you ask me. Like a gaming company that has been disappointing their fans for a long time. Aren't you just tired of that? Well, I have the perfect solution for you. And that is Dubby. Dubby is a jitterless energy alternative that was sponsoring the podcast I'm part of called Crazy Cap Studios. It has a variety of different and amazing flavors to choose from. If you're like me, I spend roughly around $150 a month on coffee and in-store energy drinks, which is absolutely insane. But with Dubby, I spend a quarter of what I usually spend a month and save so much money. It's amazing. They're also doing a solo leveling collab right now, which if you ask me, sounds pretty cool because I love me some solo leveling. They also recently released a new flavor called S'mores, which absolutely sounds bomb to me. But honestly, I couldn't recommend them enough. Also, here's some active footage of me enjoying my Dubby. I locked in so hard, my IQ shot up 10%. Speaking of 10%, if you're thinking of buying your Dubby, make sure to use code CrazyCap to get 10% off your order. That is CRAZY, no space, CAP. So yeah, buy yours today and save some money. Or not and be like an idiot or something. Like, what are you doing? Go buy yours today and save some money. What are you doing? First on the list is the PlayStation State of Play showcase. And what are my thoughts on some of the games during the showcase? Honestly, we had some pretty good games announced during the showcase. One being the new Silent Hill F game, which is the newest Silent Hill game to be released since 2, which was released in October of last year. To be honest, I've never actually played a Silent Hill game before, but this one actually looks pretty scary to me and worth checking out. This game is set in the 1960s of Japan, where we have a high school student named Hinako who navigates across town after a strange fog comes into the town and everyone just decides to disappear. And she's searching for help, while also facing some dangerous monsters, as we know from previous games. Furthermore, this game will be releasing on September 25th of this year. And again, it hasn't even been a year since the last Silent Hill game came out. The last one came out in October of last year, and this one's releasing in September. So we're getting a new Silent Hill game within a year. It's crazy. It's absolutely insane. Moving on to our next game being Marvel Token Fighting Souls. This game looks absolutely amazing. It's a tag team 4v4 game where you can swap out mid-game and do combos as well as you're swapping out through characters, which is absolutely amazing. It's a pretty cool mechanic if you ask me. And the fact that you can hit your opponent into a different fighting area is absolutely crazy. And the furnitures in the game that were shown in the presentation looked really cool. Personally, Ghost Rider's one was my favorite out of all of them. I honestly can't wait to see more about this game in the future, and hopefully we'll get some more information on when it's going to be released. And with that, that's all I've got for the PlayStation State of Play showcase. Now moving on to the next showcase, being the Summer Game Fest. We have a few interesting games to talk about from this video game showcase. First on the list is the Sonic Racing Cross Worlds game. And holy crap, this racing game might actually be better than the new Mario Kart World game, if you ask me. Like, there was so much stuff that they were talking about in the presentation, and as well as the new characters that they showed off as well. This game went so hard. Like, the people at Sega cooked, dude. Not only does this game look clean and run smoothly, it also has a very interesting character roster, even bringing in some characters from different games and franchises as well. My favorite being Hatsune Miku. Like, what? Hatsune Miku's in this game? No freaking way, dude. I had no idea she was going to be in this game. I know that Sega's made a bunch of games with Hatsune Miku. I had no idea she was going to be in this game. When I saw her, whenever I first reacted to the showcase, I'm like, I'm sold. I'm sold. Like, bro, come on. It's Miku. What's not to love? Also, some more characters that are going to be joining the roster, one being Ichiban from the Yakuza games, and also Joker from Persona. Like, Joker, this man Joker is being added to some of the most popular games ever made. One of the most popular game series ever made. Like, first he's in Smash, and now he's in the new Sonic racing game. Like, what's next? Donkey Kong Bananza? He's gonna make an appearance in there? Like, come on. That's so crazy. Also, a surprise character joined the roster, which really surprised me whenever I was watching the presentation. Freaking Steve from Minecraft. And he's riding a minecart. Like, what is going on? What? He's also in Smash 2, and now he's going to be in the Sonic racing game. These gaming companies are just so good with working together and just including their characters in these games. I'm just so happy that this is a thing that we're doing in the current time. Like, we're having different characters from different series in these modern popular games. It's so cool. But yeah, those are the characters that we are being shown so far, and hopefully we'll be shown the rest at a later date. But as for the release date for this game, it was announced to be releasing on September 5th of this year, and again, hopefully we'll be shown some more characters and some future announcements within that time. Moving on to the next game, which was one of my favorites shown in the presentation altogether, is Scott Pilgrim EX. I was introduced to Scott Pilgrim by Jaden about a year ago or so, and I really enjoyed the story of the video game and also the TV show, and the references they showed in the series were actually pretty good. And I can tell this new game is going to be a banger. As we saw in the reveal trailer, we're going to be going against 3 new rival gangs. First being the Vegan Gang, the Robot Gang, and the Demon Gang. And the villain behind all these gangs is yet to be revealed, probably in the game, most likely. And in this story, Scott Pilgrim and Ramona Flowers have to go through a whole new area in Toronto and defeat these gangs and find out who's behind all of this madness. As for gameplay, it looks pretty good for a few seconds shown in each scene. I also noticed a few game references like Piranha Plant and the Koopa Shell. I also noticed a few video game references while watching the presentation, like the Piranha Plant and the Koopa Shell from Mario. I honestly think like this game is going to be pretty successful because of the fact that this beat 'em up game style is so unique to where gamers who grew up with beat 'em up games like Final Fight, The Punisher, and like Streets of Rage are going to really love this game. And as we were told, the Scott Pilgrim EX game will be releasing early of next year. So hopefully we'll get a little bit more information about it within that time. Moving on to the last game of the Summer Game Fest is going to be Resident Evil 9, or Requiem. Finally, we're getting a continuation in the Resident Evil series with the new main character being Grace Ashcroft. From what we were shown in the first presentation, we are an FBI technical analyst who has been given a task to find a body that has the same pathology as before. We also find out that the hotel mentioned is also the place where our character's mother was murdered, and we were told that it was about time that we faced our past. I personally played Resident Evil 8, 7, and the 4th remake, and I strongly believe that this game might actually have a chance of being better than 7 and 8, but that's a personal opinion in my case. Not only does the story taking place in Raccoon City, which now looks like a total wasteland, which looks absolutely amazing in my opinion, and the visuals look absolutely fantastic. I'm definitely going to play this game in max graphics whenever it comes out on PC to get the full experience. Hopefully we'll also get some DLC later on in the year, like we got in 8 and 7 and the other Resident Evil games as well. And maybe it will be a different story being told in the city as well. And as we were told, Resident Evil 9 will be released in February 27th of next year. And hopefully we'll get some more information about it before then as well. I personally cannot wait to play the continuation of the series. I'm a big Resident Evil fan. And with that, that's all I've got to say about the Summer Games Fest showcase. Coming up next is the Xbox Games Showcase, and a few of the games I'd like to talk about. First on the list is Super Meat Boy 3D. It has been 15 years since the first game came out for the series, and we got a sequel in 2022 called Super Meat Boy Forever, which was honestly just an auto runner with some random generated levels, which it had pretty mixed reviews whenever it came out. But with this new Meat Boy game has this same Meat Boy platform style and reimagined levels from the first game, which I honestly think this game will be way better than the Super Meat Boy Forever game and probably would be more successful. This game will be releasing sometime in early of 2026, maybe in February like Resident Evil, maybe. But that's all I've got to say about this game. Maybe we'll get some DLC as well. That'd be pretty nice. But yeah, that's all I got to say about Super Meat Boy. Moving on to the next topic, which is not a game, but instead a console that will be releasing sometime soon, which is the Rogue Xbox Ally. Honestly, this handheld console doesn't look too bad to me. The specs and the base model are pretty solid with the Z2 processor, 16 gigs of RAM, 512 SSD, and a 1080p 120Hz display. And the X model has a Z1 processor, 24 gigs of RAM, a terabyte of storage, and a 1080p 120 display. And for the battery life, the base model has 60 hours of lifetime, and the X model has about 80 hours. And also, you'll also have access to Windows 11, which gives you more options for games such as Steam, Epic, itch.io. The fact that you have access to those is absolutely impressive. The Rogue Xbox Ally is set to release in October, and pre-orders are starting in August, so if you're interested in getting one of these handheld consoles, then I would probably buy it now. And with that, we're going to be moving on to the last game of this direct, being Persona 4 Revival, or Remake. Honestly, we weren't shown a lot in this presentation. We were probably shown like maybe 40 seconds of some clips of what the game's going to be looking like, the visuals and all that, but I am excited for new content coming soon in the future, and hopefully we'll be getting more info on it sometime this year. And with that, that's all I've got to say about the Xbox Games Showcase. And now moving on to the last showcase of today's news, and I'm most excited about, is Donkey Kong Bananza. Ever since this was first shown off on the Nintendo 2 Direct, I was already sold. Like, I love me some Donkey Kong. I played pretty much mostly all the Donkey Kong games besides the ones that I didn't have a console for, which was the Bongo Donkey Kong game. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but that one I've never played that one. But I played the new Donkey Kong Country HD remake on my Nintendo Switch 2 and absolutely loved playing it. Like, the loading screens just, they were so fast, and the experience was way better than what I had on the Switch 1 whenever I first bought it. So I ended up playing it on the Switch 2, and it was an amazing experience for me. But after I watched the Direct for Donkey Kong Bonanza, and I saw Kid Pauline and Donkey Kong just going on an adventure, trying to get back to the surface, I was just like, this might be Game of the Year. Like, in my opinion, Big Monkey and Small Child going against all these monsters and enemies, trying to get back to the surface, the big monkey's trying to help the kid get back to the surface, back to her family. Like, this is just some Disney ass shit, and I love it. I absolutely love that. And of course, Pauline has her singing powers, which can transform Donkey Kong into his Bananza forms, which one being this giant gorilla monkey that can destroy rocks with such brute strength, and then they have the zebra form, which makes him run really fast, and he can even walk on water. Man's fucking Jesus. And the ostrich form, which allows him to fly and throw eggs down to the ground, and it explodes, so you can hit enemies that way as well. And you can also switch between forms. It doesn't matter which form you take the first time. You can switch between forms whenever you like, whenever you're in that mode, which is that's absolutely insane. We were also shown the new villains of the game, which is the Void Company, which includes Grumpy Kong, We were also shown the new villains of the game, which is the Void Company, which includes Grumpy Kong, who is in control of all the bosses, basically all the monsters that you fight within the game, and Poppy Kong, which is the one that collects all the information, I guess is the one that spies on us throughout the game, and also Void Kong, who is in charge of the whole entire company. And I don't know how I feel about the villains. That's the only thing. Like, I really would have liked K. Rool to come back in some way. Maybe he'll have some kind of involvement in this game. Maybe he'll be one of the bosses. But other than that, I guess these villains are pretty cool. We'll just have to see. You know, I can't really judge how villains are going to portray within the story, so I guess we'll have to wait until the game's actually out and I play for myself, and then I can give an honest review of how I feel. Also, the music in this game sounds absolutely phenomenal. Like, the solo that Pauline does during the Direct is just, I can already tell that shit's going to be a banger. I'm going to be playing in my car every time I go to work for at least a week, and then I'll probably put them in my Nintendo playlist. But I can tell that this game is going to have some really good bangers, and I'm here for it. That's all I can say. As for the outfit option, I think that's a pretty cool idea. The fact that we can change what outfit we wear to help with the certain situation we're in, like whenever we're swimming, skiing on ice, or even in a jungle or so. I feel like that's a really cool mechanic that they added into the game. We're also shown that we have a skill tree now, which I honestly feel like that was a really good idea. So we can now upgrade our moves so we can do different things with said moves. Like the surf turf move, by upgrading it, we can now surf on the water, We can also upgrade our sonar ability so that we can sense things from farther away, which is really cool. And we also have a multiplayer option where one player can play as Donkey Kong and one player can play as Pauline. And with the second player, you can use Pauline's voice to create these text of words that shoot out and use that as a weapon against enemies. And you can also copy nearby objects and transform the words into those objects and then shoot those, and those create an explosion or whatever aspect that object has. Which, in my opinion, that's a pretty cool mechanic that they added into the multiplayer option. And not only does this only require one game, you can play this locally, you can play it online as well, but you can also do multiplayer with somebody on a regular Switch 1, which is absolutely insane. And they also showed that we have a new mode system where you can have it in normal mode. There's possibly going to be a hard mode, and also an assist mode for people who just want to experience the story, doesn't really want to have much of a challenge. And I feel like that's a pretty cool option that they added for players that just don't want to have a challenge whenever playing this game and just want to play for what it is and just enjoy the story of what this game has to offer. And finally, the last mode that we have from this game is the stone carving mode, where you can create anything you want. Basically, you can carve out a model of Donkey Kong, you can customize it to whatever you want, or you can make pretty much anything. Mario, you can basically make whatever you want. And I can already tell the amount of strange cucumbers that we're going to be seeing people post on the internet. I can already see it happening, but it's a thing that we can do in this game. And with that, that's all I've got to say about Donkey Kong Bananza, and this game will be releasing in January 17th, which is less than a month from now, and I'm absolutely excited. I cannot wait for this game to finally release. I'm gonna be doing nothing but playing this game until I 100% it, and there's nothing anybody can do about it. But yeah. And with that, that's all the news we have for today's episode of Fairy Found News. If you guys enjoyed this episode, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more content like this. And we will be seeing you guys in the next episode. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of your day. Goodbye.